broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Why, hello everyone, and welcome to AFTERBUZZ TV's The Concert Experience. I am your host, Tony Moore, and I am joined by someone that you guys are very familiar with. For all of my Dance Moms fans, you have seen him choreograph a few numbers on Dance Moms, as well as Abby's Ultimate Dance Competition. And now he is starting a new musical journey that we're going to talk about today. Please help me welcome Mr. Ricky Palomino. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me, Tony.
No problem. Thank you for coming on again. This isn't your first time here at AFTERBUZZ.
No, not at all.
No. We've chatted,
totally,
chatted before. Yeah. I always love saying your name because I feel like it just rolls off the tongue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like the full name or just the first two?
See, I feel like you can't just say Ricky. You have to put your last name with it too.
Okay.
Yeah. Like some people have one of those names where it's just like, just like Tony. That's it for me.
Oh.
But you always have to be referred to as Ricky Palomino.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that.
I like when you say it.
So we were first introduced to you on Dance Moms, and you did some choreographed pieces on there. The infamous piece where Paige forgot her solo. What was that whole experience like working on Dance Moms and with Abby Lee Miller?
Well, I mean, I've worked with Abby ever since the first episode. Mm-hmm. I was actually a judge on that show, and I've always kept in contact, but it wasn't until like a couple seasons later that they brought me in as a choreographer.
Yeah.
So it was nice to be back with the team and, see everybody, but I was doing a couple solos this time, so I was in a different parameter, and I had a lot of faith in these girls, and one of them just was kind of disappointing, but I know it was like super crazy amount of pressure for her, so I mean, I get it, I understand it, but it was a crazy reintroduction, so now I'm known as that choreographer that choreographed Paige's solo that she forgot. So.
Well, it's definitely not your fault that she forgot her solo. You did a fantastic job with,
I really tried. I was like in the wings, like, coordinating, trying to like let her know what's next, and she did a lot of this.
Like, huh? What am I supposed to do now? What happened? What?
And I was like, improv. She just broke down. So
well, I think if I remember correctly, you all being the Dance Moms expert I am, it was definitely a different piece, and it was definitely more of a adult piece for her, which totally. I think as a dancer is always important to grow and to experience and do that, and unfortunately she just couldn't deliver. It wasn't you. It was her.
It was her, but so I actually haven't seen her since then. So because she left the show, and there was a lot of crazy drama.
When isn't there a lot of crazy drama with that show?
It just attracts it.
Yes. When now, of course, before you got into this musical part of your career, you started off as a dancer. Where did you find your love of dancing? Where did it come from?
Actually, I was a musician first.
Oh, okay, Prince.
So,
you are a roundabout artist.
Well, a lot of people don't really know that about me. I started music when I was 5, and all the way through high school, I was in symphonic bands, jazz bands, and orchestra bands, and so I would always start school really, really early. I'd go to school at 6 o'clock and rehearse before it started, and by the time I graduated high school, I had 12 instruments underneath my belt. I was school drum major. I did that whole bit. So when I was before I got into high school, my cousins danced, so I loved it. I loved what it brought. I loved all the competitions they went to, and I always wanted to be a part of that. So once I got to high school, I really didn't like PE, and I was allowed.
I didn't like PE either.
Right?
Well, I didn't like it because it was like the second class I had of the day, and I have this like OCD about body odor that I didn't want to go throughout the day, like, you know, a little funky.
Exactly.
So I was like, PE is not my thing. Like, if I can skip this, I would be good.
And at that age, you don't want to like shower with everybody.
Yeah, I'm not trying to do that. I shower at my house.
We're not that comfortable yet.
No, I don't know you. What are you doing here?
And then when we were growing up, they didn't have these portable body sprays and all these fancy.
You had to wear like colognes, but we were too young to wear like cologne and stuff.
Totally.
Yeah.
I was like packing on the Tres Flores, and like that was my cologne. But no, so I actually got to do dance instead to like, you know, get the credits for PE. So from then on, I was like heavily in ballet. Did Ballet Arizona. Not in the competition world at all. So I like really delved into the technique of things, and I loved it. So right after high school, I actually skipped out on a diving scholarship, which my father will not let go. But yeah, I had a swimming and diving scholarship to ASU, and I skipped out on that and went immediately to Cedar Lake in New York after I graduated. So and it just
exploded from there. 12 instruments you know how to play. Name them.
The flute, clarinet, sax, trombone, French horn, the piano. I did a little bit of the trumpet, not much. But also the last ones are like bass clarinet, alto clarinet, you know, soprano sax, baritone sax, tenor sax, and then so
the Prince reference was right. I can now imagine you in the studio just being like, okay, we're going to add some sax. Excuse me while I go pick up the sax and play that. Oh, we need a little trumpet. Let me go pick up the trumpet and play that.
I was that person. I was. And like, not to like toot my own horn, but like at one time in like symphonic band, I had like my own little stands where it was like my flute stand, clarinet, my sax stand, and I was like first chair in all three sections. So I was like in it.
You were that guy. Everyone walked in the band room and was like, Ricky. See, not me. I was the last one to walk in because I did marching band too, and I played drums. But I didn't want to rehearse and practice and all that kind of stuff. Just give me the music, rat-a-tat-tat, gotta go. 1 and 4, I'm good. Like, that's it. Those are the only triangle, good. That's me. I would do that. Oh, you want me to play gong? Got it. Boom. Done. Gotta go to lunch now. That was me.
Oh my God. I love it. That's amazing.
So musically, you know, with you starting off in music and having all this experience in music, who influences you musically? Like, who are some of your favorite artists?
Well, I mean, starting from the beginning, my uncle really influenced me in music, and he was like heavy in like Latin percussion. So it literally stems from like Gloria Estefan's,
Gloria
Alejandro
Estefan is a good one.
Sanz, like this Shakira's, a lot of like Latin music. But nowadays, I love like sounds of like FKA Twigs. I love how she experiments with her music. I love like the dynamics that Florence and the Machine uses. I think she's just so epic in her tone, and yeah, I'm just inspired by a lot. Justin Timberlake, I love how he explores lots of stuff. The Weeknd now.
Oh yeah, I love The Weeknd.
Yeah, he just has that like Michael Jackson-esque Prince / Bruno. He just, you know, kind of blends a lot together, and I love that.
Yeah.
So,
going back to the dance side of things, one thing that I just recently found out, and I talked to you about this before we started, I didn't know you were a finalist on So You Think You Can Dance.
Yeah, I totally went through that.
How was that process and ordeal?
Dude, that was crazy because I was in Cedar Lake, and I was a soloist there and had recently left. I actually left through all the drama of the departure of Lucy Ballard. And so I was on hiatus for a minute. I was teaching on dance conventions and not really my cup of tea. So a friend like randomly called me and she's like, hey, there's this show, it's been on for 2 seasons, you should, you know, go audition and see what you can do. And I was like, okay. So I bought a ticket to Dallas and I got on a plane like 2 days later, randomly just, you know, rented a hotel across the street and auditioned, and they kept me and loved me, and I made it all the way through Vegas week. Had a really good connection with Mia. I think she really rooted for me to be on the show. So there was a lot of like kind of hype that I was like her favorite dancer, and I stayed on until I was top 20. Stayed a couple weeks, and I was actually one of the first males to leave, so I was like the top 10 male. But it was an awesome experience, and I met an awesome group of people, and I still keep in contact with them. I've actually assisted choreographically every single season after. So I was on season 3, so from 4 through 12 I've been like assisting choreographically, which has been awesome.
And I mean, you've done a lot of choreography, not just on that show, of course, on Dance Moms and Abby's Ultimate, but you've also traveled around and done choreography as well. Where do you draw your inspiration from when you're choreographing for things, and especially being influenced by the different cities and places that you go to? Where do you draw? Honestly,
it's like people, like just friends. Traveling a lot, like I meet so many people. I've always been open that way, but for some reason I get really conversive with people and like their lives, experiences, and all that stuff. So I like draw a lot from that, a lot that people are going through, that a lot of unsettled stuff. So I, in a way, like try to find closure for them and me and family. There's so much to pull from in art. That's why I'm so addicted to it. Like I just can't stop.
Is there a piece that you've done that really sticks out for you that you hold near and dear to you?
Oof.
There's always that. I always feel like there's that one piece, that one thing where you go back and watch it over and over again and it still touches you. Do you have that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
I know, right? Actually, it's like 1 through like 12. I set a show on a company in Poland in 2011 called The Transit of Venus. I wrote it for 2 years, and I finally set it on them, and it was about the transit of Venus, which is a actual solar like happening that happens like every 2,000 years. So I made this complete show around that orbital situation, and there's like a series of 12 pieces that like leads into that, and I based all of the planets. I had a character for each planet, and they like were going through like war and fighting and teaming up and all this junk, and it was a really, really beautiful show. It was like funded by the city. We had massive sets, and it was really, really insane. And that as a whole was super, super moving for me, because it validated me not only as a choreographer, but as like a kind of like a world inspiration. Especially like because they had a lot of politicians from their country like come to see this opening, and it was a really big deal out there. So I think that was like my most validated point as an artist. So that one definitely holds the most to me. Also too, that it went on like a tour afterwards, after I left it, and it actually ended in Warsaw at the Centrum Kultury or something like that.
That sounds real fancy.
Yeah, right. But it's like the Copernicus like Science Center in Warsaw, and it ended on the day of the transit of Venus. So they got like this science award for like, you know, promoting this happening, and it was just tied in so many things. So I think I'll never forget that.
Wow. Now, who would you love to choreograph for? Like, who would you love to set a piece for, or set their tour, or just work with?
Oh, well, if you would have asked me that like literally a month ago, It would have been Madonna. But yeah, so I really wanted to be a part of her new show, the Rebel Heart Tour.
Yeah.
So I submitted to it, and actually she called me in as a dancer for a second, and then kind of just like, brushed it off. So now
But you got called in by Madonna.
I did, but then I never got seen, but I really wanted to be a part of that tour. I really like felt like I was connected with her vision and what she was going through in life, and I thought that would have been amazing. But I also submitted for FKA Twigs.
Okay.
I think she's like a new up and coming and experimental artist, and she brings in a lot of what is it called? Just innovative art. She works with artists. So like Daniel Wurtzel, she like brought in his like fans with the floating fabrics and just kind of like moved and danced. So installation art is what I'm looking for.
Yes.
She works a lot with that, and that's kind of the world I want to be a part of. So.
Yeah. Well, mine would be Beyonce, obviously, because I am a huge Beyonce fan. So I would be, if she wanted me just to even wait in the wings and be a standby, I'd be like, I will sit right here, and whenever you need me, I will be ready.
See, she would be so lucky to have you.
Thank you.
You could totally be her
I feel
double.
like she would too. You know what? I do feel like I could stand in for Beyonce. I feel like I have danced like a lot of her numbers, just as many, if not more times than her. Yeah. I'm all about that life. So Beyonce, if you're watching, you call me in case Ashley or Kimberly are not available. I'll be your left or your right. Or I'll be like Ricky and I can be your left, right, and center. How about that?
There we go. Yes. You need to do a dedication piece to her and just like tweet it to her.
I may do that. I'm gonna write that down. Got it. So venturing on into your... Oh, well, one more thing I want to talk about with you is... all of our Dance Moms fans are very excited about Kendall's Wear 'Em Out, and you were involved in that as well with the music, correct?
Totally, yeah.
How did that come about with you like working with her and on that project?
Well, okay, so even after I like left the show working with Paige and Brooke, Abby and I have been like good friends for a really long time. And
Shout out to Abby.
Shout out to Abby. We love you, Abby, and we miss you.
Yes.
So she was, wanting to get the girls involved in other things and expand their careers, and I had been working with my good friend Nicole, who goes by Nietzsche, and my good
we've
friend,
had Nietzsche.
Yeah, Nietzsche and Shay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so good friends of mine, and we were already working on music for me. This was like over a year ago, and we were toying with the idea of like, maybe we can work together with Abby and get the girls in and really try to develop something for them.
Yeah.
So I reached out to Abby and let her know what we were doing, and she was into it, and now the girls are fully immersed into Jenga Productions, and it's on and thriving, and there's so much going on with that collaboration, and so
look at you. You're so busy.
Crazy.
So busy. It could be Madonna. Is it her?
This one's Florida, so maybe it's Gloria. It's Gloria Stefan.
See, you talked about her, and there she is.
Right? We'll get back to you, Gloria.
We'll get back to you. So now, you said that you've been working on your music for over a year now, or longer, and you just released your single 11. 11. Yes. Now, tell us about that. The concept and the visual and the thought behind this single. Like, what was your inspiration behind this? Okay, well, it's pretty crazy because everywhere I go, like, I've been seeing like the time 11:11, and I'll always like see an 11 somewhere, or I'll like have to go to a location and it's like 11:11 Burbank, or a total from a receipt is like literally 11:11. So it's did you play it in the lotto? No, but I should. That's your next step. You need to play it in the lottery. You're so right. Yeah. In fact, I'm going to the 7-Eleven right now to play it for you. Okay, let's please do it. We'll split the earnings, because so I've always like been running into this number, so I definitely wanted to do a title and like a song to this weird, mysterious numerological happening. So
We worked on this song. We actually started working on this song like a year ago, and we needed a dance track apart from the other two songs because they're very well. You'll hear them. I won't describe them that much, but 11 was the go-to for the first single. Yeah, and it really touches on the idea of like immortality and like kind of living forever, not like being a vampire or anything, but like the idea of like leaving a legacy behind and leaving a true stamp of like art behind to where you're kind of mummified forever. Hence the mummify my heart, baby, play it like a drum. Scatter me in sound, baby, hold me in your hands. So it's really like giving a piece of yourself to the latter, if you can, if you will. So that was the inspiration for 11.
You just recently released it, and you guys can purchase 11 on iTunes, so make sure you go out and get that now. But you are also soon releasing the video for it as well.
Yeah.
And you so kindly brought in a little sneak peek of the video for us. So you guys check out this little... Jonathan, I hope you're ready. Are you ready? Perfect. Check out this little sneak peek of Ricky's upcoming video, 11.
Awesome.
They can see it, but
cool.
You can't. Now, there's a lot of visuals and choreography like happening with this, and it looks, just judging, I haven't seen it yet because I didn't want to like give too much away because I can't hold water. So I would have spilled everything. I would have said, this is how it looks, this is how it is, all that. But the overall look is just very like creative and very visually pleasing. Like, how did you come up with the concept for the video?
Well, it was really important for like me and my music manager Justin to like really utilize my fashion. So we had all the dancers wear all of my clothes that I've been like designing, and I've been working heavily with this jeweler named Gleneth Barron. She makes the most exotic, amazing jewelry and sells to Beyonce and her mom and Solange.
I need to be in that room.
Exactly. And like Britney and Fergie, and she, sells across the board. Yeah. And then, Matt, I'm like heavily involved with, and he's a crazy amazing visual artist. So we brought him in as a choreographer, and then we brought in Columbia Titoni, this awesome new director who's just super passionate, just tiny and mighty, if you will, and we just kind of put all these elements together. Even the space that we were in, we were working out of a new dance space in NoHo, which I kind of like am a counterpart in like designating new teachers to come in and teach for them. Yeah. So it wasn't built out yet, so we like used the location, we used the jewelry, the Marcelino fashion, the Matt Katie choreography, and just blended it all together. So that this was kind of the product of it. Yeah. And we didn't want to like create a dance video to where it was like, dance from top to bottom, because people kind of know me as that already. Yeah. So we just kept it very artistic, chose a really strong storyline, which was heavily involved in like legalizing gay marriage and all of that's been going on there. So we really addressed that, and that's kind of the product. And then we had it edited by Neil Fernandez, who's an awesome editor, and we couldn't be more happier. So.
Yeah, no, I am looking forward to seeing the whole video. I didn't want to spoil it for anyone now, but as soon as it's released, we'll put it in the description comment section so that you guys can check it out as well. Now, coming up with this single and the music that you're gonna come out with soon, like when you sit down to think of how to define yourself as an artist, like how do you come up with your sound? Because I think for a lot of artists, it's always important to establish like the sound that you're going to present. Like, how did you come up with that?
Well, that's like tip my hat to like my music team. That's coming from Nietzsche and Shay and we really like sat down, and it took a while. I mean, probably a good 3 months of like prepping and developing of like where I wanted to go, because like being so immersed in so many arts, like I have so much to express. So I was coming from like a million different places, especially like traveling around the world. I'm like inspired by so much different music. So we literally kind of just tried to blend all those together, taking like sounds of like the Tokyo, sounds of Ibiza, alternative indie music, kind of pop music and dance music, and seeing what we could come up with. And yeah, that was pretty much it. It was the Jenga Productions crew that really sat down with me and really helped me. So, and they're good friends. So we've known each other for over 8 or 9 years now.
So they know you.
They know me.
And it's always, for me, I always feel like it's important to work with people that do know you and that do get you, because then the relationship is better, and then you put out such great product. So
totally.
Now, speaking of great product, we have to address all of this. Like, you are so fashionable in this, and you mentioned just your clothing line that you've been working on. So tell us more about that. I mean, you are just a Renaissance man. You are music, dance, fashion. You got more stuff coming out than Justin Timberlake. You'll give him a run for his money.
Oh, okay. Well, someday, maybe someday.
No, not someday. Right now.
Right now. Okay, let's do it right now. No, it's actually Matt's fault. I was doing costumes for Matt's show, Robots and Humans, which is an amazing soundtrack that you guys should all pick up on iTunes. It's what's the full title?
It's about robots and humans and the meaning.
It's about robots, humans, and the meaning of life. It's an amazing soundtrack, but it was a show back in October, and I told him I would help him with costumes, so I started buying wardrobe from like thrift stores and Goodwills, and destructing them, and remaking them, piecing them. But I saw the architecture of these pieces, and it just really, I understood like these puzzles, if you will. And I come from a bunch of seamstresses. Like my family, my grandma did a lot of like drapery and like curtains for like JCPenney, and then like clothes for like her kids growing up. They just never bought. So I come from that background, but I really started to see like the piecings of things, and it made sense to me. So after that, after the show, I started doing my own line. So long story short, I created 84 original cuts and pieces. And the palette is from like blacks to like golds, whites, grays, stripes, all the ways to like silver and, darks. So I created 84 pieces. I later released 30 pieces with no labels to a store in Melrose just to see how it would do.
Releasing clothes like Beyonce did with her album. Just say, here you go, these are the pieces. Don't label it though. I don't want them to know what you mean.
Oh, I did.
I'm gonna release it in secret. And then you were sitting in the store like,
I did. I totally did. I just, sent them in, and like I wanted to see if people would like catch to them, and they were pretty pricey pieces. So I released 30, and they're all gone.
That's amazing.
That was probably like 2 months ago. So every single piece is gone. My biggest item was like a long sleeve like mohair fringe throw. So it's like a jacket with a long scarf that you could throw, but also hood at the same time.
Okay.
And that piece sold for like $600.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So then I knew from there.
I'm just gonna come over to your house and have you sew me one. I'll bring the fabric.
Anytime, for sure. So like, those were all random fabrics. So now I'm just switching over to eco-friendly fabrics, like all wools and satins and linens and all that good stuff. And I have a manufacturer now. So of those 84 pieces, I've brought them to her now, and we've restructured the patterns, and they're all like original cuts, original designs, like no one else has them.
And this is for men and women, or just
men and women?
Okay.
And it's anywhere from like dance wear to like, you know, easy fashion, to like really high fashion, which now I'm working on like really like awesome military jackets and like long trenches for women, that are like really high density wool. So it's really good stuff, and that's actually going to be released in a store. I don't know the title yet, but it's Gwyneth Barron's jewelry store. She's opening up on Melrose, and it opens the first week of October. So I'm exclusive to her now, and out of the other store on Melrose.
And you're gonna put your labels on these, right?
Labels will be on these.
Okay, good. We can't be releasing no more clothing in secret. We got to let people know.
I know
what it is.
Well, and actually, for like bringing me on the show today, I actually brought you a gift.
You brought me a gift?
I did, and it's very Beyonce-esque.
Ooh, look at this. Can I open it now?
So yeah,
See, I wasn't expecting this. This is like Christmas. Let me move stuff out of the way.
Yes, get it out. So this is like an original cut, an original piece of mine, and it's a no label. So that's a real original Marcelino.
Oh, it feels good too.
And I love that one because you could like wear it inside out.
Yes. Now I'm gonna have to go to the gym today for sure, so I can squeeze into this.
It's gonna look really good on you, and yeah, it's super soft,
and it's light too. Like even though it's like a sweater type, but I feel like I could still wear this in the sweltering heat of LA. Still,
exactly,
because it's like breathable.
Totally,
Look at this. No one has ever brought me gifts here before.
Really?
You've been the first one.
Oh well, that's just
like this.
Sending my thanks and love.
And there's nothing wrong with a good old black and white number because it goes with everything. I already have a few things I can pair this with.
Totally.
Once I get this body snatched though.
Whatever. He looks amazing, y'all.
So great. That trip to Sweet Mo's that I was going to make today in North Hollywood, I'm going to have to cancel that order. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that
was super nice of you. And you said that your pieces are going to be in a store on Melrose starting October 1st.
Yep, Gwyneth Barron's store.
Yes. So if you guys are in the LA area, y'all go pick up a piece and buy it and wear it and tweet it to us so that we can see you in it.
Totally, and I'll be releasing over all my social media, so like I'll keep everyone up to date of the address, the opening, all that good stuff.
Keep everyone posted because I'm sure Dance Month fans in the area or any fan of fashion will definitely be there to check it out.
I hope they will.
And along with that, you have more music coming out over the next few months. Can you give us some tidbits about that on what we can expect more musically from you?
Totally. Well, the next two are definitely more like indie, alternative, I would say. The next one has kind of like a folky feel to it, so it's very communal, it's very chanty, and just about really bringing people together.
Yes. Those type of songs always work.
Totally.
Yeah.
I really wanted to address a song where it just brought those together that feel overlooked, underpaid, overworked type of situation. I feel like a lot of people are in that mode right now that they just don't feel validated, they don't feel required, and I really wanted to address them that they're necessary, they're needed.
Yes.
And so that's kind of along the lines of the next track. And the third track is just a kind of a closure piece to myself. One of the main lines in it is "I deserve to be loved."
We all do.
We all do, for sure.
Other than, we know our parents love us and, whoever you praise to, but it's good to know that others love you as well.
Totally.
Yeah.
And so I really wanted to hit up on that, and that one's very, it's a ballad, and it's definitely the most poetic of the three. So I'm super excited to get to that third piece before the end of the year. Yeah.
And then EP possibly coming
Possibly.
out.
We were
Notice
just
how I said that because, again, I can't hold water. I heard about this before.
Yes, for sure. We actually just discussed that yesterday.
So y'all are getting an exclusive. You're welcome.
You are getting an exclusive.
Because I'm like Nancy Drew. I'm on the case. What's going on?
Okay, Nancy Drew. Shout out to you, Nancy Drew.
Right.
We just talked about that yesterday of releasing a little something more, if you would say. I don't know if it will be an EP or like 3 more singles or a duo, who knows. But definitely more in the works for everyone. I'm loving the coming home to music. I've kind of like taken a step back from dance in the past couple of months.
Yeah.
It's just, dance is a whole other industry. It's
a whole nother beast.
It really is. And it kind of like, not hurt my feelings, but like, I'm definitely not as passionate as I was at one time. So it feels good to come back to music and really like express all of this art through like one avenue. So recently I've like come to the conclusion that like I don't have to like work to be that backup dancer.
Right.
Like, why be the backup dancer when I have like so much to say? And I come from so much, and not like, and like even my road like from the very beginning was a super tough road. Like like honestly, I remember like me and my mom like living out of our car for a second. Like I remember being 7 years old and like we slept under like parking lots and like with a tarp over our car, and like I would get out of the trunk to like pee, and like we were in a hatchback, so like I've been through a tough road, and so I know I have a ton to say, and I think this is the avenue to like really say it, and there's no way I can do that being a backup dancer behind someone who
has something else to say that you may not want to say.
Totally.
Right. There's no reason why you should, be in the back. Your hand should always be here.
Exactly.
Not here or here.
Exactly. See, you're feeling me.
Yeah.
But I feel like that with everybody, and that's what I wanted to say through these songs. It's like, we now in the age that we live in, like everything's so media oriented, like with the periscopes and like with the YouTubes and the Twitters and even Vines, like we all are able to like tell our own story, and I feel like everyone should, like, we need to get to know each other, and just
Well, I'm excited to hear more of your story through your music and your artistry, and looking forward to what you have coming up, because now you have this avenue where everything is kind of connected, and you can now, share everything with the world.
Totally.
So I'm definitely looking forward to that.
And I got an awesome music manager here. This is Justin, everybody.
Thank you for having me today.
Thank you for coming in.
Appreciate it.
And of course,
What's that?
Hey.
Matt Cady.
How you doing?
How you doing?
The creator of Fanny
It's hard
Pack.
to keep my mouth closed.
Is it?
The creator of Fanny Pack, my choreographer now, so he's like mine. Just
Yes.
kidding.
Well, in more ways
But
than
not
one.
really kidding.
Right.
Exactly.
I'm an employee for you.
You work for him.
Like you.
Oh, no, not at all. But it's definitely a plus.
Oh, good. Well, it looks like you have such an amazing team behind you, and you have a lot going for you. So I just am happy for you. I'm happy to see that you're being creative and using your outlets and doing what you do and returning to what you're passionate about.
Totally.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Tony.
No problem. Before we wrap things up, I want you to tell everyone where they can find you, where they can connect with you, where they can keep up with you, because you have so much coming up over the next few months that I don't want people to miss out.
Well, I try to keep it really simple, and it's just at Ricky Palomino, and that's all across the board on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, Tumblr. It's all across the board.
You got them all. I thought I had them all. You've got it all covered.
I guess. And then my website is just Ricky M. Palomino for my middle name, because my fashion line is Marcelino, which is my middle name. So Ricky Marcelino Palomino.
So you got one of them fancy names. Mine is just Tony Moore. That just sounds real country.
It is so country. It is very country. Tony Moore.
Tony Mo. If you want Mo,
Monitua.
that's me. Somewhat. So
He's got an alias. If you guys didn't know that, he's got Tony Moore and Monitor.
Well, see, you weren't supposed to tell the alias, so now people are going to find me.
What is that about? Let's interview you for a second.
No, it's not about me. It is not the concert experience with Monitor, Tony Moore. It's a concert experience with Ricky Palomino.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, Ricky, thank you so much for coming on, and best of luck to you with everything, and I will for sure look out for you. And, of course, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in to the concert experience here at AfterBuzz TV. I've been your host, Tony Moore, and you can follow me on all social media platforms at Lounging with Tony or find me as Monitor. We'll see you next time on AfterBuzz TV's The Concert Experience.
Hello.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.